Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the RoadMap podcast. I am thrilled today to have Christy Wolf from Team Believe here. Christy, know you've been in the business for a little bit here, but just wanted to actually first off, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Mike. How are you?
I'm blessed. I appreciate it. Super excited to kind of dive into your story. You are absolutely crushing it right now. You got a ton of momentum. Was with you at that lock-in. How many families did you protect at that lock-in last month?
18 families in 3 days.
Unbelievable. That is absolutely crazy. So kind of want to dive in. Um, really want to help agents today, right? I think that's both of our passion is really helping others, right? Paying this business forward. I think it's such a big part of what we do is we help people, whether it's agents or clients, right? We're always helping others. And I think that's such a fulfilling part of this business is we're either protecting families or helping a new agent make money, right? So
Yes.
kind of want to dive into, you took a little bit of time off in the business
Yes.
to kind of, deal with some personal stuff. And have come back like with a fire, with a vengeance, right?
Mm,
Come back like Jordan in
mhm.
his prime, right? Took that time off, then came back even better, right? So want to talk about
Yes.
that and your personal development in the business and that little bit of time. So please dive into as much of that as you want to talk about. Hopefully this will really help a lot of agents.
Absolutely. I just want to start off by saying I'm going to make myself completely transparent and as vulnerable as I can possibly be, because I really do want to help others that may be in the same situation that I was, and give them encouragement and let them know that they can make it. So I'm going to take a deep breath first.
Go for it.
I started Family First Life about a year and a half ago. What no one knew was I have been struggling with addiction for 15 years. Um, and I just resigned myself to the fact that I would always be an addict, and there was nothing that I could do about that. So you see lots of ups and lots of downs in my history in the business. I would um, I would start to get some momentum, and then my addiction took over me,
Yeah.
and I got into a very dark place, very dark. And part of addiction is the fact that it isolates you and it puts you in a dark place because you don't want anyone else around you to know about the disease that you
Yeah.
struggle with. So I slowly started to isolate myself more and more and more. And I stopped working. Well, guess what? The bills were still due. So then it put me in an even darker place. And addiction is a disease and it is real. So I tried, I'd get back at it, and I got back up, and then I'd fall, and I'd get back up, and then I'd fall again. And I've really just been struggling a lot with it until one day I decided enough's enough. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with this darkness and with this life. And I called my mom, and she came over, and I hugged her, and I said, I need help. I need help. And so we took everything around the house, every wine bottle, everything, and we threw it away.
Yeah.
And I went to my first Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And I walked in there and I was shaking and I was trembling and I was crying. And I said, I need help. And one of the very hardest things as an addict is to admit that we are powerless over our addiction. That's the first step. And that was on May the 2nd.
Yeah.
May the 2nd was my first day of being clean in 15 years. And I started working the program. I started seeing spiritual, just everything was different in a beautiful, beautiful way. I feel like I'm a totally different person. I have a sponsor. We're working the steps. And I finally feel joy in my life, like real, true joy. I am besides myself, and what a beautiful life it is. You
Yeah.
know, all I ever wanted was to live a life without having to use something as an aid, as a crutch, to mask my feelings and to mask my pain and different things that I've gone through in my life. So I kind of wrap that up with, it's okay to struggle with something, but what we have to do is admit that there is a problem and then seek help for that. And because I've done that, my life is 100% different. I go to church each Sunday. I'm following the Lord's command and tithing, and I'm seeing all of these incredible blessings. Like, truly. I love talking with people now. I don't want to be isolated. I feel a fire in me to succeed, to be able to actually live out my dreams. So if you look back at my track record, you'll see a lot of ups and downs. You'll see a pause for a month and a half to 2 months. And now we can finally see consistency in my life because my life isn't chaos anymore.
Yeah.
It's organized and there's purpose to it. And I hope that anybody who's listening who may be struggling with an addiction or the disease of addiction or something that is holding them back in life, you can do this. You can make it. Just seek help and admit, hey, I got to get some help for this. And that will be the best decision you will ever make in your life, like it has been for mine.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate you being vulnerable there. My grandfather struggled for years with alcoholism. And
Mm.
the biggest thing is he had to get to the point where he was sick and tired of it. And no one can force it on you, right? You have to be the one that wants that change. And he would tell me
Yes.
that over and over again and then for the last 50 years, he went to AA and did over that
Mm.
time, didn't have one drop of liquor for the next 50 years. And that was such a big
Amazing.
testament because he had a family that was more important to him than that addiction.
Yes.
And it totally transformed our generation of family because he was able to seek help and really it wasn't an easy thing to do to ask for help, right? So that's why I have so much admiration for you, that to be able to seek up and ask that help. That's such a powerful thing. And I hope a lot of people, because we just never know who's struggling with addiction, right? It's not something that's always overly that people can just realize, right? It's a lot of times people are
Right.
good at hiding it or being able to, not people just don't know, right? So I think
Sure.
that's so huge. If you showing, you're going to save someone's life because of this. I'm pretty confident with you being able to be vulnerable and talk openly about it. I think it's really, really big for a lot of people. So I really appreciate that. Something that I kind of want to relate to this business is I think a lot of times people in this business, for whatever reason, they don't want to ask for help in this business,
Yes.
right? We
Right.
get into our ways and we get into like, man, like I'm afraid to reach out because they're going to think less of me, or this business is all about reaching out for help when you hit a dark spot or when you hit a hole, a pothole in the business, like that's when you want to reach out and
Yeah.
consistently reach out. Because I always tell a lot of agents like this business is very much like a bowling lane for beginners. We put the bumpers up, right? And as long as you
Mm.
reach out, we can keep you heading in the right direction. But over time, sometimes we don't reach out and then it's in the gutter, in the gutter, in the gutter. And enough of that time and people are out of the business. So I think reaching out, identifying you have issues. I remember I was 9 months in the business and I went a whole week without making a sale. And I was all up in
Sure.
my head and I didn't want to reach out for help. But then I also realized, okay, I need to be humble and hungry, right? That's the motto here, humble and hungry, right? In our business. So I reached out to Gabe, ran a day with Gabe, and just realized I'm just not putting the client first.
Yes.
I'm not getting emotional. I'm not doing the little things that were making me successful. And so it was a very pivotal point in the business where I could be prideful or I could reach out to help for someone who's doing and is where I want to be in the business. So,
That's really
yeah,
good that you said that because and it just so happened to be Gabe as well. He
yeah,
is awesome at helping us realize what the problem is, right? And for me, I was so focused on product. This is the product. This is what's so great about it. And so I was trying to fit the product into their lives,
Yep.
or, I was just trying to put like a circle in a square, and it didn't make sense. So when I decided to put the client first, just like you were saying, and figuring out what is their situation? Do they need this? Right? What do they need? And really relating everything together full circle and putting that client first, that changed everything for me. Instead of taking this appointment and considering it a presentation, I considered it a conversation,
Love it.
which was so different, and it changed the whole vibe. And the client can hear when you really truly care.
Yeah. So want to switch gears a little bit, but kind of along the same lines. So I'm sure a lot of your reasoning for doing what you did was you obviously are a mom, right? You
Yes.
have a daughter.
Yes.
Talk about what has this business been able to do for you and your daughter?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So much. So I do want to say this is, before I was about to quit, I mean, we're talking right at the tail end of April. Mindy looked at me and she said, "Don't you ever tell your daughter that she can chase after her dreams and do what she wants, and you quit this business, because you're showing her it's okay to quit."
Wow.
And I was like, "Dang it, Mindy, you always put a fire under me somehow." I was like,
Yep.
"You are absolutely right. I cannot tell my daughter that she can accomplish her dreams and then quit right in front of her."
Yeah.
And so that was another part of the beginning of the transformation. So today, actually, we just signed a lease for an incredible, incredible place to live. It's a condominium, it's a gated community, and it has amenities I've never even imagined places have. I could never afford this if I wasn't working at FFL.
Yeah.
This could have never been a reality. Mike, I'm going to have a washer and dryer. Do you know how amazing
That's
that is? For the last 4 years of my little apartment, I've just been going to the laundromat. So something that small is huge.
absolutely.
I've been able to take my daughter to Disney World. We stayed in a Disney World resort for 4 nights. I got to say yes to her for 5 days straight at Disney World. Okay.
Not cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, not cheap, but I didn't have to look at my bank account because of FFL and this opportunity that I have. We get to do something every single weekend. She's with her dad every other weekend. So
Yeah.
every other weekend, we go on an adventure. We go places that are super fun. And we just get to live life. I have flexibility to go to every single one of her events for school. Now, in this stage of my life, I'm very present with her. And so we really get to enjoy some very great quality time. I
Love
mean,
it.
seriously, and I can pay my bills, bro. Listen, I am so happy. I'm so, so grateful.
Yep.
Oh, and not to mention, I got to wear a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes today. Hello,
I want to be honest, I don't know what those are, but they sound expensive.
bro. I
No,
mean,
I
come
love
on,
it.
man. I'm so grateful. What the heck? My
Yeah.
daughter's like, "It feels like we're movie stars." Like, I
Yeah.
mean, man, I couldn't
It's
have, there's no better job in the world. I mean, truly, it's incredible.
what I love about it is whatever you put into this business, you get out of it. Nothing
Yep.
more, nothing less, right? So that is what that's
Yes.
what drove me so much is get early on in this business is like the realization that whatever I put into it, because that doesn't exist in the corporate world, right? Like I remember putting in at
Right.
my former job, putting in all these hours, putting in all the stress that came with it, and to be capped at what I can make. But
Yes.
to have true uncapped earning potential here, it's it doesn't exist anywhere else, like you said, right? Like
Yes.
I never graduated college, right? I just came in here and worked extremely hard and was coachable, right? That's literally like
Yes.
that's this business. And people want to, people from the outside looking in are like, man, is it really that good? Or is it really like until you get
Yeah.
into it and just go to work and go through the ups and downs. And then you start to have that proof of concept that starts to develop in your head. And then it's like, okay, it's not really this hard. Call the lead, sit with the client, close the
Yeah.
business, wash, rinse, repeat, right? Over and over again.
It's
So,
so simple. Is it easy?
no.
No, you're going to need to work,
Yep.
obviously, or every single person in the world would do this. But it's so simple. It's so basic. Make calls, set appointments, have conversation. Next, make calls, set appointments, have conversation. I mean, how do you make the calls? You get the leads. So let's add one more in there. Buy leads, make calls, set appointments, have a conversation. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So simple. It's incredible.
Well, that's a perfect segue to my next point. I want to dive in because you're crushing it right now. You protect, I think, over 50 families last month. You're just on a tear, right? So super, super proud of you, and the progress you've made over these last couple of months. You're definitely an inspiration to a lot of single moms out there, for what you've overcome. It's just awesome. So I really want to dig into kind of your phone script, right? Because that's what all starts, right? Can you give a little bit of
Yes.
mindset behind the phones for a new agent who's kind of looking to get into this? Like, give us a little bit of that where you're thinking, tone, all the stuff that kind of goes into the mindset with the phones.
Yes. First of all, I have to acknowledge that God is the reason why any and all of this is happening. And
Mhm.
without his blessing, I can't even have the right mindset, right? So I thank God so much for the position that I'm in and having this opportunity. So the first thing I do at the beginning of the day is I thank the Lord for another day that I get to live. I thank him for keeping me clean today, or excuse me, I say, thank you, God, for keeping me clean yesterday. Please keep me clean today. And so each day is one day at a time.
Love it.
And when I took that mindset and stopped saying, okay, I got to produce this much the whole month. And I took the NA concept and I said, just for today, every minute that I spend at work is going to be productive. Okay. So just for today, I am going to work, I don't know, 9 to at least 5 p.m., right?
Yeah.
But my focus at the beginning of the day is thanking God and being grateful and asking the Lord to lead me to whomever he wants me to help that day. And since I've taken that approach, it has helped me tremendously in making calls because I know that the people I'm not supposed to help are going to say no. Cool. I'm expecting no's. I'm not supposed to help every single person. God will
Love
lead
that.
me to the right people.
Yeah.
So it takes the emotion out of the rejection. So I'm really only looking for like 3 out of 100 people, right?
Hmm.
3 people who really want this. And I think 10 to 15 will probably be interested in listening, but maybe 3 to 5 that really want what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for everybody to say yes. And I know God's going to lead me to the right people. So that's really my mindset. And then when I sit down at the beginning of the morning, I go, let's do this. Every day, it's so dumb. I go, let's do this.
Yeah. I love
And
it.
so I go boom, 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 boom. Like I'm calling, call, text, call, text, next, like that.
Yeah.
So my goal is not money. It isn't. It's my primary goal is appointments.
Okay.
The more appointments I get, the more chances I have to help people, right? The more calls I make, the more appointments I get. More appointments I get, the numbers are working in my favor now. I can help more people.
Love it.
So I don't even, when we're talking about like commissions and stuff, I don't even add up my numbers for the day. I don't look at anything for the day. I don't even add it up until the very end of the week when I have to report it. And that keeps my mind in the right frame of mind. So just taking each day at a time and focusing only on appointments is really the main idea.
Yeah. Love it. That's huge. I think that's really important. And like you said, is starting with blocking out all the distractions, right? You start with a heart full of gratefulness, right? I think that's so huge, right? Of like, of just how grateful we are just to live in America, right? And then we
Yes,
have this
yes.
business, we have people that love us, right? I think all that is really big because I think a lot of agents come into it like, oh man, I have to call, right? No, you get to call, right? This is
Yeah,
an
you get
amazing
to help
business
people.
that you get to help people all day long, right? So I love that. And then from there, you have your process, right? You have your rhythm down in your mornings of how it's going to go. And I love that process that you have to start the day. So getting into the phone part of it, what is your mindset like as far as the calling part of it? Let's transition to that a little bit.
I do not speak on the phone like I am right now.
Yep.
My mindset is I need to be 100% opposite of what people hear on the phone all day from strangers. So when you have a telemarketer call, they're very high energy. Hey, Mike, this is Christy. How are you? Okay, listen, you don't know who I am. You don't care how I am. Like, let's stop right there
Yep.
at the beginning. Okay, I never ask someone how they're doing. Never. So I start very low and slow. And I have to get into this frame of mind. I'm at a desk and you are a file. This is what I have to do for the appointments.
Yeah. So you're mainly dealing with second
Setting the
chance, and you're
appointments.
dealing with
Yeah,
second chance mortgage are the main leads that you're calling for the
all
most
second
part.
chance.
All second chance.
Yeah,
Okay. Perfect. So that helps set the
all
table for
second
someone who's
chance.
working second chance, right?
Yeah,
You protected 50 families last month off of second chance mortgage. That's mind boggling, right? But what I love that is we have a lot of new agents right now that are working second chance leads, right?
yeah,
And I think a lead's a lead's a lead in my mindset, right? So
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. So and when I got into the business, I want to know who was working the same leads that I was. And that's
Yes.
the person that I wanted to gravitate towards because I'm terrible at these leads. So who can I reach out to? So that's why I always speak so highly with my new agents. Hey, Christy is doing unbelievable numbers off these leads. So watch,
Yay.
listen to her, take notes, be a student of the game. So sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but please proceed from where we
No,
were talking
please.
about.
I seriously, Michael, I just
Hey.
read the Zoom name. I learned so much from you and I'm grateful to learn anything I can because you know what you're doing, sir. Um, if we think about it like this, second chance, we get to be the heroes.
Yeah.
We get to be the heroes. Somebody dropped the ball at some point in time. Those are the people who set appointments with me.
Hmm.
So I'm going to talk very low and slow. And if someone gives me an objection and says I don't want it, I have one rebuttal. Is it because of health or price? Those two things I can help you with. I can be the hero for the first person who A, did not get a hold of this person, B, gave them a crazy price, or C, told them they can't get approved. I can help with all three of those. Let's go.
Love it.
And if they say price or they say they told me I wasn't approved, oh man, I got you. I'll take care of you. You know what I mean? Like I can help you with that. So
Love it.
low and slow is the main point of that because I need to be different than everybody else.
Love it. Can you kind of take me through, just do a quick role play of kind of like your
Sure.
tone and your cadence, all that too. So go for it.
Okay. Constantly, I have to tell myself in my brain,
Yeah.
slow down, because it's not natural for me. Okay,
Right.
let me take a breath. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Mike. This is Christina. I actually work with a brokerage and we handle the mortgage protection for Chase. So I just had to get a hold of you really quick here. Your file that's associated with your property on Main Street just came across my desk and it's actually marked as incomplete. Okay. The reason for that is sometime around when you closed with Chase, we had sent you like several things in the mail
Okay.
about the mortgage protection, right?
Hmm.
That's where it pays off or pays down the loan if you get sick or if you pass away. Yeah. So you did the right thing. You know, you filled out that card, you mailed it right back into us too. But for some reason, we still haven't gotten that completed. And I'm the manager in the area here. So I just wanted to make sure we took care of you is all. So
Okay.
really what I need to do with you, Mike, I just have to set up a 15 to 20-minute phone appointment with you. And we're just going to go over the coverage together. And then I'll explain how it works and we'll see if it's even a good fit for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. And then, so someone goes through there, how are you, if the person's not, obviously not a one call close, but like actually kind of tying it down, can you kind of go through your tie downs?
Yes.
Because what's your show rate
Okay.
right now? Do you know on average your show rate for when a booked appointment?
78, seriously, 78 to 80%.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
That's insane. So yeah, take me
I'm
through your
only
tie down, right?
looking
Because
for people who are, I'm sorry. I'm only looking for people who are actually interested.
yeah, so I think part of that too, right, is as a new agent, my mindset, as soon as I had someone that told me yes, like I'm trying to get
Mhm.
them off the phone before they change their mind,
Right.
was
Right.
my mindset, which is such a poor mindset, and then no one showed up, right? So
Right.
I think what switched for me was when I actually spent almost as much time tying it down or being intentional about
Yes.
my tie downs, right? So can you kind of go through tying down? So for a new agent, a tie down is like things that we're doing to make sure the client shows. Because we
Okay.
can't sell them if they don't
Yep.
show. So please, can you take us through some of
Right.
those tie downs?
Okay. So let's pick up where we were. Okay. Is it just you in the home, Mike, or is there a significant other there as well?
Yeah, it'll be my wife and I.
Okay. What is your wife's first name?
Olivia?
Olivia.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll want Olivia to be on the call as well, so she knows how to use this. Let me take a look at my calendar real quick. Okay. I either have tomorrow afternoon or evening. Which would you both prefer?
Afternoons will work better for us.
Afternoon. Okay. I have a 1 to 2 p.m. or 4 to 5 p.m.
4 to 5.
4 to 5. Okay.
Yep.
And you both can be available then.
Yeah, we should be.
You should be or you will be.
Yeah, we will
I
be.
have to ask you like that, Mike, because my schedule is very packed, and I just have to make sure if I put you down on the calendar that you'll be available during that time. Otherwise, I need to be helping another family in that slot. So, do you guys know for sure if you'll be there?
Yeah, I'll make sure we're both there.
Okay, perfect. Do me a favor, just grab something to write with real quick. I have to give you our security code. Let me know whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let me grab that. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Security code is W6612.
Okay.
So W6612. That way you know it's us, Mike. So I'm gonna give that to you when I call. Do you want me to call you at this phone number right here?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Do you get text messages on this line?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I will text you when I'm like 10 to 15 minutes away from calling. But while you're at it, next to the security code, do me a favor, just write down you and Olivia
Okay.
have a phone appointment with Christina tomorrow
Okay.
between 4 to 5 p.m. I think we said 4 to 5, right?
Yeah.
And then underline 4 to 5 for me.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. What I need you to do, Mike, I need you to let Olivia know about this appointment so it's
Mhm.
not a surprise to her. And if you can please be intentional about having your phone on you tomorrow between 4 to 5 and being available during that time. Again, I'll text you before calling just to make it a little bit easier. But
Perfect.
just, yeah, please make sure you're available then. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Have a good day. We'll talk tomorrow.
Love it. Yeah, so I love how your tie down was as long as your intro to
Yes.
setting the
And you
appointment,
have
right?
to
Like
keep that
that's
same energy the
the whole
whole
time.
time.
Yep, your
You
tone didn't
because what
differ.
happens, yeah, right. Tone and speed have to stay the same because what happens is new agents get so excited that they're booking a new appointment. They're like, awesome. Okay. And they start to raise up their tone and then it starts stressing the client out. And they're like, whoa, you're not the same you were when you started. What's going on here? And
Yeah,
there's questions in their mind. So keeping everything the same the whole time. Yeah. It's
love it.
important.
100%. So you're doing some one call closes. Are you doing one call
Rarely.
closes? Or okay, you're more like just setting the appointments. Okay. So let's go into your
Yes.
your in-home a little bit. How
Yeah.
does that kind of, what does that sound like? Like when you're ready to start the meeting for a new agent, what are
Yep.
some things that you're doing in the in-home?
So I'm gonna start out, ring ring.
Hello?
Hey Mike, it's Christina Wolf. Just calling for our appointment. How are you?
Good, how are you?
That's the only time I will ask them how they're doing, is at the beginning of the appointment, because that's a formality that we need to start with, right?
Okay.
Okay, doing good. Thank you. Is Olivia there with us?
Let me go grab her.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you could put me on speakerphone real quick, um, just so that she can hear us as well.
Okay,
Let me
she's
know when you're
here.
ready.
Yep, she's here.
Perfect. Hey Olivia, it's Christina Wolf. How are you?
Good.
I was actually like waiting for her. That's because I was so in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good, good. If you guys can do me a favor, just grab something to write with. I'm gonna give you guys some stuff to write down.
Okay, got it.
Okay. First things first, the security code is W6612.
Okay,
I'm not going to ask them for it because they're going to take 10-15 minutes to go look for this piece of paper that they were writing down. So I'm going to tell them,
love
period.
it. 100%.
Okay. So
Yep.
W6612. Okay. I also want you to have my information for reference. So my first name's Christina,
Okay.
Christina. Last name is Wolf, just like the animal. WOLF as in Frank.
Okay, got it.
Okay. I want you to also have my state license number. So my Ohio state license number is 1234567.
Got it.
Okay,
Okay.
1234567. Mike and Olivia, have you guys ever been through this process before?
Yeah. Want to stop you real quick and just kind of recap so far with a new agent that's kind of listening, right? So first thing you're doing right off, um, making sure both spouses are there, right? And it's not
Yes.
just, hey, is she there? Okay, perfect, right? No, it's, hey, Olivia, confirming that she's there. Because Olivia could be in the room kind of listening, but she needs to be there present to make sure she understands what's going on, right? So those are little things, if you're a new agent, pay attention to. Ask those questions. Hey, Olivia, acknowledge, have that, make sure she's there. Because people are not going to put anything in place if both of them are not mind,
Yes.
body, everything sitting there, right? And
And
then
I'm
immediately
acknowledging her
100%.
too.
And then immediately you're building credibility, not overly, hey, let me send you 10 different things. It's just like, hey, write this
Yeah.
down. Right. And immediately you have control. You're dictating all those. Those are things that are, I think, overlooked by a lot of agents that are so key to building reports. Because eventually we're going to ask them for a social and a routing and account number and some personal information. So if you're not right out the get-go controlling it and building that credibility, making sure both of them, those are all the things that you need to do to set the table for the appointment. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that and break that down for a new agent because you're doing great. So they can take it from there again. Sorry.
Please don't be sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
You'll also notice I have a very easygoing tone. It's not excited. It's not happy. It's not, I hate my
Just
job. It's just
professional.
very light. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Professional.
Yep.
Okay. Have you guys ever been through this process before?
No.
Okay. Did you purchase or refinance?
We just purchased.
Purchased. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime that you guys purchase or refinance or even like take out an equity line of credit, there are three really important coverages that you really need to have in place, right? So Chase is going to make you do those first two before closing because it protects them, right?
Okay.
Go figure.
Yep.
So first you've got PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. Did they talk to you about that at all?
Yeah, I think at closing, I think we did that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if you can't put down 20% of the loan at the time of closing, they assess this extra fee in
Okay.
your monthly payment, right? And so what you're doing is you're actually paying for Chase's insurance. If you default on the loan or if something happens to you, they get their money back and then they have the rights to take the house. Okay.
Gotcha.
If they didn't tell you this, I do want to make sure that you know this is as you're making payments on that each month, once you get higher than a 20% credit to debt ratio, you can actually get that refinanced and you can get the PMI removed.
Gotcha.
Just FYI.
Okay.
So now I'm providing value to them. I'm
Love
giving
it.
them an insider tip here.
Yep. Love
Okay,
it.
next. So number two is the homeowner's insurance. I mean, we all kind of know what that is, right? We don't really need to go over that.
Yep.
Protects the structure. Okay. The third is mortgage protection. So at the end of the day, you guys, this is the one thing that's going to protect you as an individual. Now, there are different ways to do it. This is done, right after closing. But there are different ways to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys a couple minutes of medical questions, and then I'm going to ask you a couple financial questions, right? So that's going to help me understand like the big picture, know how to serve you guys best, and then we're going to make sure it's in budget. And then from there, we're going to go over the coverage together, and then we'll end up submitting proof of coverage. Okay, does all that make sense so far?
Yep. Makes sense.
Okay, so please feel free to stop me anytime you want at all. If you got any questions, just holler at me. I'm happy to help. Okay, so I have your first and last name spelled boom boom. So I start with really general questions. I want to ask as many boring questions as I can before I get to the personal. What's your income?
Yeah. Love it. I want to kind
Right?
of break down that second part, right? So the
Yeah.
second part, you did a great job eliminating confusion, right? Because what is mortgage protection, right? A lot of new agents will kind of skim through that, where it's really important you broke down PMI, homeowners, mortgage protection, right? The differences there, because I think that's a big thing. Because if you're confused, then the client's confused, right? So we have to eliminate the confusion there, and then you set expectations on how this is going to go. Right, we're saying, hey, where they're submitting or declining coverage, right? Going through all that and ask you some personal questions. You're setting expectations for the appointment. Any questions, right? So we get that out of the way, right? There's a whole process. It's like making a baking a cake, right? You have to put the ingredients and the right things, otherwise you're not going to get the end result. So it's very important to put every ingredient in it, and that's what you're doing. So I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to break that part down so if you can keep going from there.
Okay. So I have your first and last name spelled boom, boom, right?
Yep.
And Olivia, boom, same last name, boom. Okay. Mike, what's your age and date of birth?
6:30,
Okay.
87. Boom. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of skimming through them quickly.
Go for it. Yep.
And Olivia, what is your age and date of birth?
7:30,
Okay.
90. Yep.
Got it. Are either of you smokers or non-smokers?
Non-smokers.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go through a list real quick. It's a list of medical conditions. I just want you to holler at me and stop me if any of these have happened to you. Okay.
Okay.
Heart attack, stroke, TIA, cancer, stents, diabetes, neuropathy. I am going slower as I'm doing it, right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
read the whole list and I add with kidney, liver, or heart disease or recipient of an organ transplant. Any of those?
Nope.
Okay. Are you guys on any prescription medications for anything else at all? Or have you been in the past 10 years?
No.
Okay. Any major surgeries for either of you?
Just a gallbladder removed.
Okay. That's fine. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I'm seeing the amount with Chase is about 120,000. Does that sound right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Is that a 30-year term?
15.
15? Okay.
Yep.
What's the monthly payment towards that each month with escrow and
Uh,
everything?
it's 1,200.
1,200. Are you guys paying anything extra towards that right now or no?
Not right now. No.
Okay. What's the house valued at? What do they appraise it at?
150.
Nice. Okay, so you've already got a good chunk of equity in there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Obviously, that's only going to go off over time. And that's really at the end of the day, that's what we need to be protecting,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So I'm getting your buy-in every chance that I get. Every chance that I get. Okay, Mike, what do you do for work?
I'm in sales.
Sales.
Yep.
Okay. What would you say is your roundabout monthly income
About
after taxes?
5,500.
Okay. You must not work at Family First Life.
Nope.
Olivia, what do you do for work?
School teacher.
Teacher. Teachers are superheroes in my book,
They
just so
are
you know. Mad props to you. What is your roundabout monthly income?
about 2,000.
2000. Okay. I do have to legally disclose. Do you guys have anything in place that acts as life insurance right now?
Through our work.
Anything outside of work?
No.
Okay. So what you have through your work, keep that, right? You can get that for pennies on the dollar without a medical screening. So definitely keep that in place. The thing we just want to remember about it is our work is the one who decides how that policy is going to be paid out, right? And you have to be an active employee for them to pay out. So if you get sick and you're taking long-term disability and or leave, that's not going to pay out for you. And when you do end up leaving, whether fired, you leave on your own accord, or you retire, that's going to go away. So we don't want to bet the whole farm on it.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Right. Okay. So let me make sure I'm understanding kind of how everything works together. And so I'm going to break down everything. I'm going to break down who pays what. If they take everything and put it together and pay the bills out of that. I mean, I really want to know what their situation is.
So
And then I'm going to show them a scenario of what it's going to look like without you, Michael, and what it's going to look like without you, Olivia. I mean, at the end of the day, Michael, you have the most insurable interest here,
mhm.
right? I mean, if we lose you, we're losing 5,500.
Yeah.
So Olivia, you're going down from 7,500 down to 2,000, right?
Yeah.
What is that going to look like for you financially?
Yeah. Lose the home.
Right. And I'm assuming you want to stay in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So let me make sure I'm understanding kind of what we want to do here. So Mike and Olivia, what we want to do is we want to put something in place to where if we lose you, Mike, Olivia is going to be able to pay off the mortgage and she'll still have an income coming in and she's not going to be in a really rough situation. Is that why we want to put something in place? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom.
Love it.
You just told me you want it in place.
Extremely assumptive. Love it.
So I got your buy-in.
Mhm.
Now you're ready to hear about whatever it is that's going to fix that problem that I just laid out. I learned that from Gabe. When he told us that at the lock-in, boom, a light bulb went off. I said, I have not been getting their buy-in before I start presenting whatever presenting, before I start talking about the policy.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to sell a new car to someone who's kind of looking around instead of asking someone, okay, let me see what's your situation?
Yeah.
How can I help remedy that situation? Right? So now you're ready to listen to whatever it is. And now I can diagnose the problem and help you. Does that, I mean, that kind of makes sense, right?
100%. Love it.
Once I started doing that, if someone says no, then our conversation's done.
Yeah.
Now I'm not wasting my time. But if someone says yes, now we're ready to talk. How can I help you the best way and still get it in your budget?
Love it. Awesome. I know time's short with you. I want to finish up with what are some of your goals to finish off the year?
Yeah. So one of my biggest goals was paying off all my debt.
Okay.
I had 11 credit cards maxed out. I am down to 3.
Wow.
I've brought my credit score up 35 points in the past 2 months.
Huge.
Thank the Lord for this beautiful life that I have. I also, my goal is to take my daughter on a Disney Wish cruise, which we are going in February. I've paid that off.
Wow.
Another goal was to make Hall of Fame. And Mindy told me, I don't know if you're going to be able to make it, which lit a fire under my rear end. I said, listen here, sis.
Yep.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you.
Love it.
So I am still hoping to be able to do that. So yeah,
Well,
some big stuff for sure.
I believe you'll be there. I have zero doubt in you, Christy.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you being on today. I hope everyone that watches this is inspired by your story, inspired in the business. You're a wonderful part of our business. We appreciate you. Yeah, and it was great. Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you so much for your time too, Mike.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
My pleasure. Everyone, thanks for joining. This has been another episode of the RoadMap podcast. Come back next week for another episode. All right. That is it. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that was
and
awesome.
thank you so much for your support.